Hey there, and welcome back for another Warmahine battle report. Now, before we go any farther, I think I've already answered this before, but just in case anybody's wondering, why isn't Malorian doing battle reports right now? And it's really, I have been doing them for a while because they took a lot of effort, and I found that, that's not why people were coming to my channel. People normally come to my channel for the energy and the reviews, and if they wanted good tactical battle reports, there's a lot of other options. And so knowing that, I decided that especially during this pandemic time, I was just going to enjoy whatever games I could get. If I could get a game online, I was just going to enjoy myself, not take any pictures, not doing any battle reports, and just connect whatever way I can with my community. But if anything interesting happened, I could always do a battle report on it. This is such an occasion because today we're going to be covering high shields. Now, as you look at the high shields now, you might actually wonder, are these actually a Warmahine unit? I have never seen them. And if I was to tell you, oh, they're a Lylyth unit, you'd be like, oh, you mean the Forge Guard. No, the ones with the gun. And you're probably thinking, oh, you mean the artillery. No, sorry, there's another one. They have shields and guns, and you have probably never, and maybe other than this battle report, will never see them again type thing. Now, why is this? Why is it that Lylyth Forge Guard can be so amazing, but high shields are not? Well, let's just quickly cover what it is to be a Lylyth high shield. Well, it is 15 points for a maxed unit, so they're probably pretty good, right? They have speed 4 because they're little dwarves. They're all about guns, so that's why they have rat 5. Their guns are range 10, POW 10, but they have shield wall, and if they really want, they have combined melee with their mat 5 P plus S9 axes. They at least have combined range, I suppose. But yeah, they're really just a high armor unit. High armor meaning 15 going to 19. And if they have the UA, then they go up to 19 points. And then for one turn, they can shoot twice. And they get a new order if you don't want to go into shield wall with your armor unit so that they can move, make an attack, and then move again. So basically utter trash. It's one of the only units I don't own for mercenaries, but what came up here is that we were playing some Brawl Machine. I decided to do random factions with random casters, and the two I got was Gaston and also Malikov. Now, I had planned to be playing the high shields in every single game. I was going to use this to prove myself wrong, and if it went well, I was going to finally buy them. However, very first game, there was a distraction caster. For those who don't know what distraction does, it is a spell. You can do it onto an enemy unit, and then they can't make range attacks. Seems bad when out of my 25 points, 19 is into one unit that shoots. Okay. The next one was up against Old Witch 2, which would greatly reduce my range, and range 10 is already pretty bad enough, so couldn't drop it there. Game 3, wouldn't you know it, another distraction unit, and then finally in Game 4, finally there's a time I can play it. So this will be my first and maybe last time playing with high shields, so I thought, yeah, let's go ahead and show them off. Now, when it comes to what I had in this list here, I'm doing this, like I said, with Lieutenant Crosse. This is the version that's a caster, and this is in Infernals. Now that it has a whole bunch for him, but there's some stuff in there. And the reason why I felt that Crosse, Gaston, can actually do well with the high shields is because of two different things that he has. One, he actually has Dauntless Resolve, which gives a unit +3 armor and tough. So all of a sudden that armor 19 goes to 22 and tough, and that's now getting pretty respectable. Normally you'd see him doing this on, the Howlers or something like that, but hey, we can do this on the high shields too. And another interesting spell he has is Ghost Walk. So normally what you might see happen with high shields is that they walk up, they shoot twice, they do nothing, and then they get engaged and that's it. They're done for the rest of the game. But for me, I could cast Ghost Walk and either just walk back and just shoot up whatever engaged me, or depending on how spaced out they are, walk behind them and shoot them in the back. So there's actually some interesting things that can be done here. So if anywhere high shields are going to be good, it'd be here. I also went with that shooting theme and I took a Mariner, a Mule, a Buccaneer, an Umbral Guardian, and that Umbral Guardian's nice because it helps me with my focus. But yeah, the list kind of ends pretty quick when there's high shields in there, and it's 25 points. Now, for my opponent, I don't want to really focus on this list too much because it's illegal. Now, in his defense, we go back and forth every month between a fun event and a full steamroller, and so it's really easy given that to be oh, is this a month where we have to care about FA1? And, he forgot. And, if you want to blame someone, you can blame the TO. The TO should have checked the list, but he's a big dumb idiot and he didn't do it. And so he deserves what he's about to get right now. So we're in this. We got Lylyth2 with a Ravagore, and I think this is actually a good thing for me, right? The Ravagores, it's not something like their Scathers will automatically do tons of damage to me. Sure, it's going to blast whoever it hits, but my high shields would actually survive the rest of the blast damage, and maybe I can chip away at them if they ever try and charge in. Like I said, I can back away and keep pumping into them. So, and as long as I keep Gaston safe, this is pretty good here. There's even some little infantry models here I might be able to shoot and then get my souls and do my whole Gaston thing. So yeah, I think overall, if there's a time that high shields are going to shine, now is it. So let's go over and see if that's what happens. So here's the picture of what we're looking at here, and it is kind of coming over here because we kind of both agreed we weren't going to play on the right side of the board for whatever reason. This is obviously a Brawl Machine scenario, so as a reminder, it's only going to go up to turn 5, and you only need 4 more points to win. Now, these buildings suck, and no matter whatever side I chose, because he won the initiative, that was going to be awful for me. I have one big massive unit, and if they want to go over and score that right zone, they're going to have a hard time dealing with the left. So given my options, I decided to take the bottom here for 2 reasons. One, my high shields can now go more central and be able to shift into that zone to score it, and then I can have my battle group on the other side to kind of go after the rectangle, probably like how it was designed to be played. But at the same time, Gaston has this lovely building that I could either stay completely behind to hide from the enemy battle group, or I could just get some cover and score a flag. So it's a pretty good side, all things considered. So that's what I'm going to go with. So the way I see this going is that his Legionnaires are going to be trying to flood into me. Even if they run into me, as I said, I can back up and I can shoot them. And then I'll have to weather the storm from the Ravagores. But in general, Ravagores want to stay back and shoot, which might give me a good chance for me to be scoring the left zone, having opportunities to be running my high shields up to contest the flag, and probably this is going to end up with a scenario win. I do have the opportunity here too that I might get an assassination. If I get a knockdown, I mean, that's the best thing. Between having the Mule that has crit devastation and then the Buccaneer, which has a net, if I knock down Lylyth, she's in a lot of trouble. I mean, all those high shields suck, but when you're knocked down and I can just pump 20 shots into you, that's pretty good. Oh, by the way, I didn't even mention that. They're one of the old UAs where the banner doesn't even have anything good. So yeah, okay, let's just ignore all those things. We know they're bad. Let's actually get to the game. All right, so on the first turn here, as I said, he got to go first, and, you know, kind of came up, but didn't come up screaming too bad here. The Legionnaires going up the right, as obvious. The Ravagors kind of coming up the middle. No real spells that really super matter. I mean, he put up Mirage up onto the Legionnaires, but whatever. They were going to be faster than me regardless, so if they want to dance around before they charge me, sure, whatever. So going into my turn here, you know, the Ravagors threat a long way. And so if I want to stay back, they're just going to take up a lot of ground. So I'm just going to have to give them something to shoot at and then just make sure I don't get hurt too badly. So going with that then, what I decided to do is for my battle group, take cover behind that building. Now I'll tell you right away, I screwed that up. I didn't really care at the moment. When I was first doing this, I was like, okay, they can both run to the building. One will be completely covered. The other one will get cover, and then they can come out after. And they can come out pretty easily because Gaston's feat, even though the stealth portion won't really matter, gun and run will. So being able to come out, take a shot, killing something, and moving into the zone, pretty reasonable to do. My mistake was the order of them. So mules are defense 10, so going up to 14 with cover, whereas the Mariner is 12, which would go up to 16. So clearly they should have been in the other order, but what are you going to do? So they could shoot at the mule, but it's something I have to accept. Otherwise, I want to try and guard my high shields a little bit. So the Buccaneer just ran up just to kind of take the initial charges. It is set defense. They're only mat 6, so I should be able to survive that pretty well. And, you know, man, those high shields, they're slow. I ran up, you know, there's no way I can do shield wall moving up just 4 inches. I just might as well give up the entire zone. So I had to run up, but then I also had to space out enough that if they shoot me with the Ravagor, it's not going to catch a lot of them. So otherwise, you know, Dauntless Resolve going on to them. So they have their high armor. I don't really have a reason to cast any more spells. So I'm just kind of hanging out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now we're going to be going back to their side. Now, when we go over to them, this is where I realize it's not going to go the way I kind of assumed. And the reason why I say that is that those Legionnaires, they did not attack me. They are actually hiding. And what I quickly realized here is that the Legionnaires are not in there to be offensive. They're there to be defensive. You might be able to see it here on the left side of the board, but he also has those incubi over there. And so once I kill any warrior models, they're going to start popping up. And yeah, that means that while he wants to shoot me, these Legionnaires are designed to be there, hold up zones. Even if I kill the model, it'll turn into an incubi. And so they can hold down scenario and delay scenario while the Ravagors and Lylyth can kind of do their work. So, okay, I now see what they're going to do. And now knowing that, I'm probably just going to ignore them, right? High shields, I don't want to shoot them and make them better. And so I might just walk up and start trying to shoot the Ravagors. And then if the Legionnaires want to come and swing at me, sure, whatever. I don't really care. Otherwise, what he did do, though, is start shooting into my Buccaneer. I kind of thought that the Ravagors would be putting some starting damage here into the Mule, and actually, it did get a little bit. It got shot there by Lylyth, and Pincushion went on it, again, making me think the Ravagor is going to shoot at it more, but no, they actually decided to shoot at the Buccaneer. Now, they took out 2 different systems there. It took out the net and the movement, and that's going to make things awkward, which we'll see here in this next picture. But before I do that, let's talk about tactics. What am I going to do here? Well, I know that next turn he's going to be doing the feat, so I need to do whatever I can to put myself in a good position for that. Now, I can score my flag pretty easy, and the left zone here, if I can go and actually get a crit devastation on it, it'll turn into an incubi, but after it's destroyed. So I'll hit it, it'll get slammed out, and then turn incubi far away, and I can actually claim the zone. If I don't get a crit, well, then it's probably just going to turn into an incubi, and then if I want to actually then kill it, my Mariner will have to actually do the work. But there you go. You know, I guess we'll have to shoot what I want. I want to try and chip away at the Ravagors, but, you know, likely, you know, once I can get up here, they're going to have a hard time dealing with all the armor and all that type of stuff. And I think that the scenario is the way to do this. Clearly, I'm not going to be scoring the right circle, so I just need to make sure I don't lose anything on it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, so if you look at this here, it looks pretty straightforward and easy, but there's a couple of things here that I want to explain of what happened. So, you know, Gaston was able to go up there and feat. I'm going to do the thing where I'm going to be taking the cover. I feel that even though there'll be a way that he could get shots on me, there'll be enough things in the way, and I'll have cover and camping that I should be safe. I didn't have anything really I could shoot at, so I'm just hanging out with focus. Meanwhile, my models moved over here on the left. I did get the crit disruption, slammed it out of the zone, moved in, so that's fantastic. The Mariner came up, did a little bit of, you know, initial damage on one of the Ravagors, so that's not so bad. And then otherwise on the right, I basically just went up there with shield wall. As I said, I'm not going to be caring about the Legionnaires, and then did a little bit of a combined fire onto the Ravagor. Again, it's only range 10 and we're only speed 4, so I think only like 4 of them got into range. It was pretty pathetic. I think I did like 2 boxes of damage. But otherwise, you see that the Buccaneer is up there to actually contest the flag. So that sounds smart, but in order to get there, it had to run. So basically we did this. I did all the scoring, and then I had to rewind. And I said, oh, sorry, it had its movement out, so I'll have to find a different way to do this. I don't even know where it started, so I was going to make things very awkward. I mean, I'm movement 6, but I can't really tell where I was to start from this. So, oh, why don't I just try this? I'm going to go up, shoot something with my net, and then I can gun and run and get there. And I'm sure my net is crippled. I still got 2 dice. Hey, I hit Ravagor number 2, and I still got in the same place. Oh, okay, that's all cool. However, the way the gun and run works is that if it destroyed one or more enemy models with a range attack, then it gets to gun and run. So that's means I cheated in a couple of ways. I cheated because the net did not destroy anything, so the Buccaneer should not have gotten that second move. The Mule, when I went and I killed that one model and slammed it out, okay, that's something. It got to move up. But then the Mariner that went up there and took a shot, and then I thought it triggered on hit. Yeah, the Mariner should have been farther back as well. So overall, you know, I don't know if the Buccaneer could have just gotten somewhere. Probably not. So I probably couldn't have contested that flag. But hey, you know, he's cheating and taking FA2. No, it's, you know, it's whatever. We're playing random factions and random casters. Mistakes are going to happen. So either way, the way that we're actually situated, I score 2 points. He has 0. And I'm in a pretty good spot knowing that now he's about to feat and try and do mean stuff to me. So what happens here is that he decides the feat, but the first thing he has to do is he's engaged. So Lylyth goes up, does some damage, stays back by the flag. And then the Ravagor goes and takes a free strike because it's a Buccaneer. Who cares about a Buccaneer, right? Well, you do when it rolls like 665. So it does tons of damage to that Ravagor. I can't remember if it took out a system, but either way, that Ravagor then in spite shot back, destroyed the Buccaneer, and then he started trying to do some damage to my jacks down here, but he started having awful luck where he just kept on missing, and you can see those 2 ones that scattered back there. So at the end, he didn't do too much. So that Mariner being in the zone there, I mean, it should be from when it moved around, probably like another inch back or something like that, but not in the zone. But as long as he didn't destroy everything I had here, it didn't really matter. Funny enough, one thing that did matter is we were talking about like, haha, my feat says I have stealth, doesn't matter against Legion. But when the Black Frost Shard tried to harm me, that actually came up. It's like, oh yeah, they don't have eyeless sight. So, okay, that's all good. So after this is all done, you know, Oh boy, not even there yet. We still have a scary spot. Here on the right, his legionnaires decide to finally get aggressive. Two of them charge into one of my guys there, and I thought that I had put two in the zone, but when we zoomed in, that one that's just kind of like near it is like a fraction out. So if he killed that one model, he could score that zone, really messing up my scenario push. They come in. Luckily, I tough, so hooray for Dauntless Resolve, and I hold the zone. But that could have been bad. But really, at the end of this, his feet didn't really do too much to me. In fact, I'd argue I did more damage to him with that free strike than he actually did to me. And now I'm in a great spot where, sure, I'm not in a great spot that my high shields are about to kill things or anything like that, but I'm in a spot here where I can easily get higher and higher on scenario. I could start clearing out the left zone if I want. I could charge into his Ravagore. My high shields can also start moving up and contesting things while I keep on scoring my flag. So yeah, that's all pretty great and awesome. Oh, one last thing. The Blackfrost Shard had charged in and killed my Umbral Guardian. So that kind of sucks. That's what Lylyth had done with her shots, was trying to like weaken up the Umbral Guardian, and then the charge in actually finished it off. But yeah, I mean, like overall, I think attrition is good for me, scenario is good for me, and I just gotta get to kind of like push my advantage now. So on my next turn here, what I'm going to do is the high shields need to get up there and contest. Now, this is a problem because I can't do that with my whole shield wall thing, so I'm going to have to let that kind of fall. But I get to now use the other order where I got to go up. I got to shoot at the Ravagore. I used my mini feat so I could actually shoot it twice. Again, I could only combine in with like 5 or 6 models or something. Again, range 10 is awful. And then I got to move again, which then let my little speed 4 dwarves actually contest the flag. And even then, I could only get one around the Scather to actually contest it. So they're trying their best. Otherwise, on the right, I'm not even making attacks against the Legionnaires. I'm just being in their way. Otherwise, over there on the left, I decided which way I wanted to go, if I want to try and score the zone or actually try and get work done. And what I tried to do, or what I decided to do here, was actually just kind of like, let's just try and hurt these Ravagores. I had already done some damage with the actual high shields, so that one Ravagore was already a little bit weakened. Remember, that's the one that took the super free strike. So what I did first to get out of the way is the Mariner went, charged into the Ravagore, did okay. I had hoped for better, but left it alive, which means I'm probably in a lot of trouble. And then what I did with the Mule is I didn't want to kind of like move all the way out. I couldn't aim and shoot or anything because I was engaging that one model there. But the other thing I don't want to have happen is I don't want that Blackfrost Shard model to kind of come around and contest my flag. So I wanted to like show up my back, so it's more tempted to attack the Mule, then again wreck my scenario advantage. So what I did is I just turned the Mule. That means I'm taking another point of damage because I'm staying in the Scather, but whatever. So this way I'm not engaging anything, and I take a shot at Lylyth, and I crit devastate. And I shot at the Ravagore, which then slammed it into Lylyth, knocking her down and moving her off the flag. So this is an order of activations regret, because had I done this shot first, then obviously I would have just gone for the assassination. I could have had all those high shields shooting into the knockdown Lylyth. Gaston could have popped out and shot into Lylyth. The Mariner could have shot into Lylyth. But, I didn't really think this was going to happen, and I didn't think of those possibilities. I was just thinking about, my win condition is scenario, and that's going to be achieved through attrition, so let's do that. And then kind of realize, oh, this would have been an easy assassination, but what can you do? So either way, that's then setting me up. I'm going to score my flag again, going another one up, and I'm feeling pretty good. On his turn then, he's going to come back pretty hard. Lylyth just heals up the Ravagore, kills the model that was contesting the flag, and then sits on the flag. The Ravagore comes up, gets into the zone, and then destroys the Mariner. So there's one heavy down, and then the Blackfrost Shard, kind of like I hoped, all went into the mule and then took out my weapon. So that kind of sucks, but all I care about is the fact that I'm actually in the zone there, because what's going to happen is that, you know, sure, the Legionnaires on the right swung around, did their best to try and kill me, had lots of trouble with the armor. I think they killed like one model. I made quite a few toughs, but at the end, you know, he scores his flag, I score my flag, which means on the next turn, all I need to do is move a high shield up to contest his flag, and then I get to score mine again, and then I go up by 4, and I take the win. So, hooray. So, I mean, obviously, this one is a little bit tainted because I shouldn't have contested his flag that one turn. Mistakes were made. But, you know, the main thing about here was about the high shields. So let's get a end of the day high shields, what I thought about them. So, did the high shields do well? And I think the answer is no. You know, if I just wanted a shooting unit, I could have taken anything else. If I wanted something tanky, I could have taken something else. I could have just taken Forge Guard. Oh my god, there's so many other things I could take. So it was cute to say that I had a whole bunch of armor, but it was till the point that it didn't really matter. You know, the stuff that was going to kill me was going to kill me. And unfortunately, in order for me to be effective, you know, then I'd have to do something where I'm running or I'm doing that move, shoot, move and not being in shield wall, which means they're not getting the one big advantage that they're supposed to be having. So I think like in this world of, you know, fast alphas and go, 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 you have to get in there. A little speed 4 unit that wants to be in shield wall this is not your world, guys. This is sorry. So I don't know if PP is ever going to come back to them and try and modify them. I have a feeling if they ever came back to Rulik, they just make like the Rulik Sentinels or some other new unit that's just kind of better type thing, but I don't know. Maybe one day they'll do something with these guys. Maybe if they had like advanced deploy or something like that. I don't know. They're not really in a spot right now where they're going to do too well. So I'm not going to buy them. Maybe in the future if they get some improvements, but hey, you know, at least now I can say that I use them. So there you go. There's our battle report for today. I hoped you enjoyed it, and now you know what high shields are. So otherwise, we'll catch you later. Bye.